What's going on, people? Welcome to United View and welcome to the final preview of the Premier League, because we still got the FA Cup final, but the final league game, the final preview. Man, what a season! It's honestly, it's gone super quick, but it has been football overload. Adding in the World Cup as well, it's been insane. Like it really has been a roller coaster of emotions. And we are here at the final game of Manchester United's 22-23 campaign. Is it a memorable season?
For
already?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you could say that. There's nothing on this game. It's a bit boring, but good. I'm glad. I didn't want anything on this game. I didn't want this game to be like, I'll get something out of this game. I'm very happy that no one's really cares. But good. No, and to be fair, not a lot of people thought it was going to end up in this situation after we lost against West Ham, and people were saying, we were saying 3 wins out of 4. Everyone was like, 3 wins out of 4, but you've got to believe, and that's an important thing.
And now we might do what Minna said. Minna said we'll win all 4. 6 clean sweep, 12 points, no problem.
We'll win all 4 plus another one, win all 5.
Plus another. Imagine. And you did say you said, momentum-wise, going into that final, to be unbeaten in 4. I know. Look, whatever happens on the day against City happens. Form goes out the window, but you still want to prepare the best way that you can. And actually, considering how down we were against West Ham, and actually, let me not speak for everybody, because there's probably a large chunk that said, listen, even after West Ham, I said, not me, but you could have said, I just know we're going to be okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because like everyone predicted. Yeah. And also because of those home games, everyone was like, listen, we've got 3 home games to get 9 points. We're going to win all 3 of those home games. That's where people took out the Bournemouth away, because that was the one where I was like, I'll tell you what. But so instead of, because it's a bit different, because it's the last game of the season and there's nothing on it. Well, let's talk about what kind of is on it. Yeah. Finishing third. How concerned? How are you bothered about that in any way? Now we've got top 4 in the bag with a game to spare.
It's one of those ones that if we get it, then you're like, you're really, really good, third best team in the Premier League, blah, blah, blah. If we don't get it, it's like,
we
got top 4. I'm not going to be full Kloppish and go, who cares? Yeah. But I think that's what Ten Hag's putting on the game to try and inspire the players, because if he gives them the idea that there is still something to fight for, as in, you could finish third. And at the beginning of the season, after losing your first 2 games, if people would have said that you'd be the next best team after the 2 teams going for the title in Man City and Arsenal, we'd have taken that. We'd have taken not just the top 4, but being, up there for a while. And would you say that's reflective of the whole season? Would you say that Man United have been the 3rd best team in the Premier League this year?
Well, the saying goes, the table never doesn't lie. But there are caveats, because you have to kind of, again, there's comebacks for what I'm about to say on both sides. One side, you could say, well, the season is 38 games. It isn't 25. It isn't 28. Like, you have to do it right into the end. And it's where you finish that literally says who deserves to be where. Yeah. But then you could kick back and say, well, certain teams check out after a certain situation because they've had nothing to play for after a certain point, which is their issue. That's their fault. Yeah. It's Arsenal's fault that after they gave up against Brighton or whoever they got, can't even remember. When they realised that, Arsenal fans say when they realised that City's just wiped Everton in that Brighton game, it was over.
Well, that's not our fault. They drew to Southampton. Their players were laid down on the pitch. So they knew.
Right, exactly. They knew. So other teams' subplots are not another team's problem. No. So the fact that Arsenal threw the towel in 4 games ago, but we couldn't, we had to keep playing to our maximum to the end because we had more to fight for. That is like, well, you managed to gain more points on them and get maybe a bit higher up because the stakes weren't high for them at that point. If you're talking about both teams being at their best points during the season, Arsenal being clearly better than us. But you could say, well, I think Cam said it, he was like, well, we could only finish maybe 9 points behind them, which actually, in reflection, is a couple of dodgy wins, a few dodgy wins that we probably could have got along the way. So to answer your question, the table would say we're the 3rd best team in the league, but I would foot the question of, that's fine. But if I said to you, we have to play Newcastle away tomorrow, or Arsenal tomorrow, or bloody City away tomorrow, you know, would you be confident because we're the third best team in the league, we can go there and win? And with how we've been away from home, you'd feel horrible about a game like that. If we had to go to Aston Villa tomorrow for, say this went down to the last day and we had to, you know, to get fourth, we had to go and beat Aston Villa away.
Yeah.
Would you feel confident? You probably would.
No, but on the flip side of that, you could argue, but because we could be considered the third best team in the league, any of those teams you just mentioned, if the roles were reversed and they had to come to Old Trafford, I'd feel confident we were going to get a win because we have.
Home form is why we've got this.
Yeah, people like Aston Villa, again, a team that's playing, we've beaten them. You know, we've beaten everyone at home.
At home, exactly.
Yeah.
Narrowly, yes, and whatever, nip and tuck, but we got the job done.
Even when we played Newcastle earlier on in the season, I look back on it and go, if we could have scored that day, we'd have beaten Newcastle. We missed chances against them too.
They hit the bar and post as well. And
but I remember towards the end of the game, we should have won. Proper chances.
Yeah.
I mean, I get your point. I get your point. When you get towards the end of the season,
it's weird,
sometimes the table ends up. I remember when it was a 2-horse race for the Premier League title with Leicester and Spurs back in the day. They ended up finishing third, didn't they? Arsenal came second that season, and they were never really in it. So I get your point with that, but I mean, look, the beginning of the season.
Who you talk to?
At the beginning of the season, if we'd have said that, you know, we could finish third, have a trophy confirmed, Carabao Cup, be in another final, an FA Cup final, it's already to me a successful season for us because I didn't expect this level from us by the end of the season. I do think that I mentioned this before. A part to play of it is that maybe other teams that we expected to push us a bit more haven't really been at their best this season.
Yeah,
so
which always happens though around the race for fourth. That's why it's the race for fourth, because it very rarely is teams that, like how Man City and Arsenal were for large parts of the season, where they both just kept winning until near the end. Top four is always third to sixth, maybe seventh sometimes. Of like, I tell you what, if that team or this team could get their act together for like 3 games in a row, you get a bit of a gap, you get a bit of a lead. Yeah. And it just never happens with them teams.
And also as well, you would say with Newcastle and with Man United that even though last few weeks, you know, Liverpool closing the gap, United sort of stumbling a little bit and all that kind of stuff, realistically, this race was probably done a few weeks ago. Like there was a kind of feeling, wasn't there, of like, actually, I think Newcastle and Man United are going to probably get this. And it was only because
people
Man United
started
dropping points.
Started slipping up. No one really thought about it against Newcastle until they drew against bloody Leeds. And when actually, if they don't beat bloody, who was it, Brighton next? Or I think it was Brighton they had next. And then they smashed them 4-1, didn't they?
Yeah.
But if they didn't beat Brighton in that moment then, and Liverpool won, they would have been in big trouble, massive trouble. So you're right. I think there's a few crunch games where, like the Wolves one after us, like we had enough slip up space where we had one more slip up space left, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then Liverpool made it 2 slip up spaces because bloody they messed up anyway against Villa. So I do think the season's been good. And actually, when you think about it, the table doesn't lie. Actually, I'm going to go back to it and say essentially you can have the caveats of I'm literally going to go against what I just said myself. Actually, it does mean we're the third best team because you know what? Our home form's been amazing. And we've managed to rack up that. Look at Liverpool. They've been crap to the point where they were that far behind Man United and had to go on a 6-7 game winning streak just to even try and catch up. And they still couldn't do it because you then had to beat Villa and you couldn't do it. So we beat Villa at home. Do you know what I mean?
One is as well. Liverpool this season, their home form has actually been really, really strong. I think ours is just a little bit better, but not a load better than Liverpool.
Not a lot, yeah.
Their away record's been worse than us, basically.
Worse than us. That's what I'm saying. They've lost more games than us. So
exactly. So I think there's a fair argument to say that Man United could be the third best team in the Premier League. I think it's important that even if we come to that conclusion, we do finish third. We don't get it into our heads of, well, we don't need that much more than to be challenging because we do.
No,
and as you mentioned before, other teams will be improving. Other teams will be better next season. Liverpool will be better. You would think maybe Chelsea will be better. Spurs, well, I think Spurs are shit. I think they're done. But the point is
Spurs have lost 14 times today. 40 this year.
The season.
We've actually lost the same as Liverpool, to correct ourselves. We've both lost 9. But they've also got 9 draws. So it's the draws that made them really...
Well, but then it's there, and that's their away form as well. Because I think they've drawn maybe a couple more at home than us. But the point is that they're just about as bad away from home as we are.
But look at the fine margins. In the last 5 games, we got 2 losses and 3 wins because we've got 3 in the bounce. Liverpool have got 4 wins and 1 draw. So their form, they were on 6 in a row before that as well, 7 in a row, weren't they? Like they were really putting a run.
Well, everyone said, didn't they? Towards the end of the season, their fixtures were very good to them. Everyone said they should probably win the majority of those fixtures, and they
nearly did, didn't they? Yeah.
But I think that's a testament to United having that a bit of pressure and just managing to stabilize enough and get the job done really with no sort of qualms. I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah. The Wolves one was the real one that we had to just.
Yeah, but even that game wasn't like that game wasn't like we were hanging on because we really weren't. No. It was just kind of it petered out. Bournemouth again. I wouldn't say we were super hanging on. Yeah, maybe De Gea makes a couple of saves, but it's not like. But it's not like we got battered or anything like that. It was just it was an end of season game against Chelsea.
Chelsea could have finished 8-4.
Yeah, exactly. But we got through it, which is against the thought that a few people had with this game on Sunday. What do you think Ten Hag does? Do you think he rotates and rests for the final? Or do you think he goes with momentum? If he does rotate, Flex, is it Harry Maguire's last game in a red shirt at Old Trafford?
Yeah. And let's face it would be, unless he came on for like 30 seconds to see out like a 1-0 slim victory in the cup final, could be his last appearance. Maguire's got to come in. I think Ten Hag has to have an eye on the final. You're too close not to. Top 4's in the bag. Of course, we want 3rd. And let's be honest, no disrespect to Fulham. Even if we make changes at home, it might be a draw or whatever. But you should still be able to go and beat Fulham, even if you have to play Maguire and someone's got to play. So Varane. All right, let's just go through it. You bring in Dalot, given.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka's been in the running.
Yeah, he's playing in the FA Cup final. Wan-Bissaka,
and he's playing in the FA Cup final. You bring De Gea, they're just not going to bring in Butland for a game like he's just not going to. Tom Heaton, I can't see it. Is Tom Heaton even fit?
Heaton, I don't know. But the thing is, they might bring in Jack Butland to be like, because again, he might never play for Man United.
Yeah. I'm not fine.
I don't mind. Yeah,
fine. Back 4, they can't change all of them because we ain't got enough players anyway. So you'd have to go Lindelof and Maguire, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
probably. There's nowhere else.
No.
Luke Shaw was off as a precaution, so Malacia is definitely going to play.
Yeah, Malacia. Yeah.
For me, keep Casemiro as far away from it as possible. For me.
Yeah, because those red cards do carry over, don't they? I think the red cards do carry over, and
just injury. I know he's quite he's solid. Every time he's been out, it's never been an injury, an illness. But just don't.
No.
Just don't.
You saw it against Chelsea, didn't you? Like, he had a couple of injuries, a couple of nice people, like obviously Anthony, Shaw, were picking up a back thing. And even Casemiro going into a few tackles or a bit of scuffles, the pushes and the shoves. And you just don't.
Anything. Just don't. Keep him in his tracksuit in the new bloody warm-up kit we got now. Just keep him in that. Put him on the bench, fine. Yeah. But really, I'd give him the day off. But actually, if we had Sabitzer and thing, but depth-wise, that's what I'm saying. We ain't even really got it like that to just play a whole new 11. That's the crazy thing. So I would play. Here's my team: Butland. Let's just say I'll say Butland, Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire, Malacia.
Yeah.
McTominay, Fred. It'd be amazing if he just gave Kobe Mainoo a start.
I was just about to say, do you think he would do something like that? Because, I mean, realistically, it is the perfect game.
It doesn't matter. It is the perfect game.
There's nothing on that. It's a still Premier League game. There's still going to be 78,000 people there, but there's not a lot of pressure. There's pressure on it that, you start, but why not? Yeah. And he likes him. He does like him.
He does. He's just won Young Player of the Year award. I think he'll give him some minutes off the bench. I don't think he'll start him, but I'd love for him to. I still think Ten Hag will want to keep some form of momentum. Actually, Eriksen, he might have it that Eriksen might not start the finals. He might play Eriksen again.
Maybe, yeah.
Because really, you're going to go Casemiro, Bruno, Fred.
Yeah.
Should probably be the midfield.
Yeah.
Against City. So, depending on what he thinks is his starting lineup already, it will probably to give us an indication. So that will be my midfield 3 as much as I could. Get Casemiro out there, play McTominay and Fred from the start. But actually, Fred needs to play in the final. You don't want anything happening to him. He's very important for the final. But We don't have a whole 11 where you got to give him. You can't just.
Yeah.
Still got to play the game. You can't just go. Oh, injuries happen in football. And up front is an interesting one because there's no Anthony. Rashi came on and played basically a half or just over a half. He had a little awkward fall where he's holding his back.
I wouldn't play him.
I ain't playing him. No. I ain't playing him. Start Garnacho.
Yeah.
Garnacho's probably going to be on the bench in the thing. The thing. Play Sancho on the right.
Wout.
And do you know what? Weghorst up front.
Yeah. It's got to be Wout.
100%.
You are not. With Anthony Martial.
Martial's
still not playing 90 minutes, right? And it's the last game of the season. He's not playing 90. He's not going to play 90 minutes in the Premier League this season. It does not start on the final day of the season that he does that.
I probably wouldn't even start Sancho because Sancho's going to have to maybe play on the right in that game as well. I'd start Pellistri. I'd give Pellistri a start.
Yeah, why not? Like I said, why not?
But I don't think Ten Hag will do mad things like that and upset the whole rhythm. He wouldn't. Yeah. I don't think he would. But there's got to be at least 4 changes.
There's got to be the wise ones, hasn't there? Like I said, he might not take all of them, but the wise ones.
I think he plays Casemiro.
The Varanes.
Honestly.
Look at some of the Europa League games this season, against teams that we shouldn't have been playing that strong a side against. He was doing it. Ammonia, Sharif, they were strong sides.
Because he wants third. I think Ten Hag wants third.
Yeah.
And there's something about Eric where he never just goes, I would have the day off. But this is the first real time he's been able to actually do it, though. In them cup games, it's like, we can't afford to lose today by putting out shit team because we won't get through to the next round of the FA Cup, even though it is bloody Reading or whoever. And we want to win something. But now, the objective is complete. You've got it. You've got it. It's done.
And his mindset will be like, but it's a week. We've got a week to prepare for, I mean, it's not a recovery. Like Varane, you might think,
which is true.
But then we did play on Thursday,
exactly.
It's proven like Varane can't play. He can't play. You know what I mean? And those people, like you said, like Shaw definitely won't play. Rashford, I agree with you. Whilst he scored, he did look a bit uncomfortable, and I'd just be like, given like recently, the last couple of months, he has been picking up those he's been picking up those knocks. He hasn't looked exactly the same. You just go, look, we need fight and fit, ready Rashford. And I know the argument could be made, well, he gets ready by minutes, but I don't know. If it was me, like I said, I'd be like full rotation, as much as possible. But I don't think he'll do that because he doesn't do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, here's third. I think I do want to keep our standards high now. In hindsight, I don't see this game as I don't care because it does change. When after we just lost to West Ham, obviously you're not thinking, I just want to get third. We can still get it. You're thinking, just get in the top 4. I don't care. Just get it done. Crawl over the line. We don't want it to go to the last day of the season. This game here could have really been a stressful day.
Yeah.
A really, really stressful day. Because I tell you what, going in, if we had to beat Fulham to do this, you'd still be favourites and absolutely rightly so. But who would be comfortable with that? No. The fact we've got a dead rubber where we can rest players and it's the perfect prep for the City game, but also in terms of prep for the City game, you want to keep standards high. You want to keep winning football matches. You don't want to go out on a whimper on the last home game of the season where the fans, there's 70-odd thousand in there, only 40,000 or 35,000 probably going to go to Wembley. So loads of people ain't going to see the players for ages. It's the last day of the season. You go with your families, get the kids on there, you're waving. You want it to be a good day. Sun's going to be out. I don't want to see us lose 1-0 against Fulham at home because it didn't matter. So go and get third. That's the message. Go and get third and say, you know what? For optics as well, wow, what season, considering where we was. I mean, none of us thought we'd be in this position, or many of us didn't. So go and get it done. But please, Ten Hag, wrap up the players in cotton wool who need it. Casemiro, I'm going to say the indispensables. Bruno's a bit of an anomaly because he just keeps going and going. A week to prepare. Casemiro, Varane, Ghost of Rafe the Phantom, Rashford. I don't want to see them tomorrow.
No.
I don't want to see them tomorrow. And Martial, sorry. Don't want to see him. Wout Weghorst's last thing, let him play 90.
Yeah.
Everyone tried their best to try and get him a goal.
Yeah, if you get a penalty,
give him the penalty.
Yeah.
Like, just make it about that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just, Pellistri, give him a game. Give him he's just won a Jimmy Murphy trophy. Like, that's amazing for him, his family. Start him. Bring him on at half time. Whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Give Zidane Iqbal 10 minutes near the end. Something. Just
put Butland in goal. Just be like, you haven't played. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Change the keeper during the game. Just give him a game if you want. Just play there for 60 minutes, and then it's always going to be done on 60 minutes. You're going to change the goalkeeper. Fine. Yeah. So Yeah, man. Let's do that. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Give us your predictions. Give us your team
What's your
lineups,
prediction?
what you would do. My prediction. It's hard when we make a lot of changes because even when we're our strongest team, we don't free flow score goals. 2-0 Man United. Somehow.
I'm gonna go with a. I wouldn't even be shocked if it was a draw, honestly. If he does rotate, I wouldn't be shocked if it's a draw and it's kind of one of those. But I'm going to go for 2-1. 2-1 Man United.
Yeah, might concede actually because you're changing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at home, Fulham on the beach as well, chilling. And there shouldn't be too much worry.
But he's still been playing okay, Fulham, in fairness. They've been playing all right
recently. Yeah, to be fair, exactly. And how the way they ran up on us last time, Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, okay. Well, let us know. Owen's going 2-1. I'm going 2-0. Let's get the bag. Let's get the win in the bag, and let's get third. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow. Peace.